Welcome to the Grand Review, the show that's all about movie news and reviews. I'm your host, and you will accept that, Garrett Ray. And joining me, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a band t-shirt? It's Andy Delia.
Yeah, that's me. Thanks, Garrett.
Welcome back to the show, Andy. As always, we are here in the sort of party room at Grand Avenue Theater, cursed once again to sit down, watch a movie, and talk about it. And we'll do this until one or both of us are dead.
That's not cursing. This is my weekly event.
But yeah, this week it's a big week. It's a big summer week. We got a lot to talk about. If you've never joined us on the show before, first off, welcome and thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Basically, we're going to do spoiler-free right up front, and then we'll get into spoilers. We'll let you know when that's about to happen, and then we will get into the news at the end of the show.
Yep.
And there's time codes down in the description for everything. You can find us online at Grand Review Pod on Facebook and Instagram, and then if you're listening on Spotify, you can vote good, bad, great, or terrible. What did you think of this movie? Yes, those are the only 4 options. I do not accept write-ins, and quite honestly, the ones that I have gotten are quite insulting. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, people actually respond? Really?
There's no way for them to write in, but they can leave comments on the episodes.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet, but I am waiting to get a comment that's just like, this is the worst thing I've ever listened to. I'll be like, but you have listened to it.
But you did listen to. Gotcha.
Yeah, someone actually commented on one of the ones on YouTube and said, I can't believe I just listened to 30 minutes of what I assume was a podcast. And I was like, well, I don't know what else it would be. So this week we are talking about Superman. If you're living under a rock, I suppose, basically this is a reboot. This is no longer the DC Extended Universe. This is DC Films. This is the first thing in this sort of reboot of the franchise under James Gunn.
Yeah.
And this stars David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, Nathan Fillion, Isabella Merced, Anthony Carrigan, and Edie Gathegi, I believe is how I'm saying his name correctly. I think I got that right.
I thought that was the woman.
No, that's Mr. Terrific.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Who is the Hawk woman?
That's Isabella Merced, who you'll know from Dora and the Search for El Dorado.
Never saw that.
I did, and boy, let me tell you, it exists. So this movie has a whole new cast of characters. It is a restart for Superman. No more of the dark and dour sourpuss Henry Cavill Superman, and there's a lot riding on this for DC films. You know, this needs to do well. It needs to be received well because this is the direction for the rest of their franchise. So good gravy. Is that a lot of pressure? But Andy, what did you think about Superman 2025?
I thought it was great. Like, I really enjoyed myself. We talked about this briefly last night. I think James Gunn really does well at making a serious film and not take it seriously.
Yeah.
And to explain that, like, the film has a plot, has a story. It goes along just like any other superhero film does, but it's done with such style, such carefree, whimsical, and just doesn't really care. Like, it has fun. And this is what a comic book film really should be, is having fun. And James Gunn knows that, and he did such a great job with this. Like, the story to it is really good. It's engaging. The actors in this all were really good. I really like Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah.
I've loved her ever since The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Prime.
She's so good in that.
And she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, and she also kind of looks like the first lady that was I can't remember.
Margot
Kidder. That's right. She kind of looks like her in certain shots. I'm like, that seems intentional.
Yeah, and then like James Gunn and Christopher Reeve's son is in the film too.
He plays a reporter.
Right. So I think I've seen every Superman film that's been made.
Yeah.
Going back to like, I think when I was like 8 or 9 years old, when the first one came out with Christopher Reeve, and that was a big deal when that came out, because that was like the first real shot at a superhero film.
Yeah.
Out of those original 4 that were done, 2 is probably my favorite. because it's the General Zod character
Yeah.
and the people from the Phantom Zone and how they get released. I never saw number 3 with Richard Pryor just because it just looked bad.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Right. And then unfortunately I saw 4, The Quest for Peace, which is...
Is that the one where he fights himself, or is that 5?
No, that's, I think, 5.
Okay. Yeah.
4 was a Canon Films picture.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So need I say more about that?
No, that pretty much covers it.
I do like the ones with Henry Cavill. I like the Batman Superman one. That I seem to be one of the few people that did.
Yeah, there were parts of that I really was like, really? Is this, why did you say that? It's stupid, but okay.
I liked Man of Steel.
I did too.
And the Superman Returns, I really hated the Brandon Routh one.
You and everyone else.
Yeah.
But
it's just
that
bad.
being said, I do like Kevin Spacey in that role as Lex Luthor. He feels like the Lex Luthor I would expect.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult in this is kind of like that, but he's a little bit different.
Nicholas Hoult, I really saw more as almost like Gene Hackman again from the original ones.
Yeah.
And he does like the narcissistic, arrogant villain, and he does it so well.
Yeah, but what about in the movie? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sure Nicholas Hoult is a nice person.
And I mean, he really needed a good hit too, because last couple of films that he did.
What are you talking about? Renfield was a classic.
No, it's not classically bad.
Yeah.
I tried to like that film too. I really did, and I just couldn't take it.
I did not watch the whole thing. I turned it on. I was like, I think I'm done.
I think I slept through part of it.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I'll take a nap. Maybe I'll put it on and take a nap later.
But yeah, I really, this is probably the best comic book film I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I'm going to be a big upset here because I also thought that it was great. And I got you.
Okay.
No, it was great. It was.
I was like, if you didn't like it, seriously, you were laughing just as hard as I was, and we were laughing at the same stuff.
I was having so much fun. It's super funny. It's definitely the thing that I was talking about with Hand on the Way Home is like there are several shots where Superman's coming out of some smoke or whatever, and people are looking back at him, and this movie feels less like a Marvel film, which has a very specific flavor to it, and more like American mythology.
Yeah.
This really plays into that in a way that I can't say I've felt from a superhero film in quite a while.
Yeah. I think Marvel has lost touch with that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also just like they have such a specific formula that they kind of have to follow to keep the machine running. So it's tough to break out of that, and there's a tonality that has to be consistent across their pieces for it to feel cohesive.
Yeah, but that's probably the worst thing that they ever did now was fire James Gunn. So James Gunn's really going to come back at him.
Yeah, I mean, look, the stuff that James Gunn tweeted, he should not have tweeted.
No,
but
he shouldn't,
also,
but
I think he didn't want to do any more Guardians of the Galaxy after Volume 3 either. So
it didn't really need any more after Volume 3. No. That was a good conclusion of that.
I still haven't seen that one.
Really?
No, I don't know why, but I missed it.
You should.
And
it's really the best. Like all 3 of those films are really good. The third one is even better.
Yeah.
Like it's just a really good movie.
Weirdly, the first time I watched the first one, I did not like it, like at all. But when I went back and rewatched it, I was like, oh no, this is good. I don't know what I was thinking.
I was a fan of the comic book, and I never really thought that would be one that they would make into a film, just because it wasn't a big series.
Yeah,
like it had a following, but not enough to make a movie out of. And when I first had read that they were making a movie out of that, I was like, okay. I'm like, how are they really going to do all that? Because I couldn't picture it at the time, like knowing from what I had read from the comic book. But when I saw it like 3 days, screened it at the theater I was running before we opened it, and I was like, man, this has everything that I think people want to see in these kind of films.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like it went on to be this huge success.
Mm-hmm. And I think Superman kind of follows suit with that.
Yeah.
But it feels very different too. This is not Guardians of the Galaxy feeling in DC, except for a little bit of maybe the Justice Gang. But that
was funny though.
But it is funny. I do think that Nathan Fillion was the weakest part of this movie for me. He's good, but he's also like I was over him. pretty quickly.
I was confused if I was seeing him or Woody Harrelson. And I was like, who's playing this again? And I knew it was Nathan Fillion.
All I could look at was the hair. So.
Yeah. And Mr. Terrific is definitely a standout on that too. He really does make the film. Crypto does steal the show, as everybody was telling me all the way up to when we saw it. But the scenes with Crypto are just so funny and endearing. And if anybody that owns a dog, and in my case, Kaya, Kaya is our Crypto at home.
Oh, absolutely.
She's definitely the same way. And it was just really hard not to laugh at those things. Even I guess I can't talk about the one part until spoilers.
Yeah, we gotta hold some back. But I really enjoyed Mr. Terrific. I thought that was a fun character and a very different, kind of contrast to Superman in these moments. And I enjoyed watching the different personalities play off of each other. It felt like they were. This world feels like these people do live in it and they do interact, and they're not all quipping all the time. Not that none of them have a sense of humor, but they're not doing Marvel quips.
I like the fact too that they really didn't feel to rehash the origins and everything.
Right.
Like they just, as much as the sentences were on screen, like when the film was starting and just going through 30 years, and then all the way down to by threes up to 3 hours ago, Superman lost his first battle.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I give credit to James Gunn for doing that, because there's no reason to go back and rehash the origins. But if you don't know that, then you really have no business even going to see this.
Yeah. And I think that the gag of like trying to do a bunch of stuff at the beginning in text is like, an exposition dump, but they did it in that way that's like from 300 years, 3 decades, 3 weeks, 3 months, like it was kind of a fun little thing to do with that. And the way that it like went down the screen, and then dead center 3 minutes ago, Superman lost his first fight. Like that it's stupid that I was impressed by that, but it just made it fun.
I was too, because it really does set the mood for the entire film, and you were already sucked in and engaged just from words on a screen.
Yeah, and that's hard to do. Because most people can't read now.
Yeah, that's why they're going to see Jurassic World.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been. It was a joy to watch. I was laughing. I was feeling stuff. I was, having fun with the amount of Superman's a little silly, but they use the stuff that's a little silly about him and things that he's done from the comics, like super breath, and it's not a joke. It's a legitimate tactic, and it's fun to see that. Like it's fun to watch the fights, because you're going like, they really did that. Wow, okay, that's actually effective and works. And so I really enjoyed all of that stuff. And I would say it's an easy recommend. Like if you've only got one time to see one movie this weekend, make it Superman, not Jurassic World.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or if you haven't seen it yet, F1.
Or F1. Yeah, F1's pretty good too, but I mean, this one is more fun.
It is.
But F1 is really
a lot
good.
more serious, but this one is definitely doesn't take itself seriously. It's just like good popcorn fun.
Yeah, this is. It's not going to win an award for deepest story ever told or anything like that, but it's not trying to, and it is like it's a little silly. Like there's some stuff that we'll get into.
But I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I was fine with that. Like it was silly on purpose. It wasn't silly in the way you're like, that's the best you could come up with.
Yeah, like Megan.
You're wrong about Megan, man. Megan was 2.0 was great.
You know that I'm right about that. You just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, my reputation's on the line, so I'll never admit anything.
What reputation?
Oh, I feel bad for you. I don't think about you at all. All right. I guess, just easy recommend. We're both giving it a grade. It's by no means perfect. I think there's some stuff that, and we'll get into this a little bit here in a second.
It's pretty close.
I think there's some stuff that people will pick apart a little more as time goes on. But overall, like I had a lot of fun with this. And like I said, it is American mythology on screen more than it is the next entrance in a franchise.
I mean, even the DC Films thing is like an old 1950s thing of Superman like busting chains.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a lot of love.
Yeah,
a lot of
there
love.
is.
And there's a lot of love for those of you who have not seen the movie and want to go watch it before we get into spoilers. But if that's you, duck out now because we're going into spoiler territory. Yep. Superman saves a squirrel. And that's my favorite thing I've ever seen in a movie, bar none.
No, the best is they're torturing Crypto with like wiring his brain that he's like constantly chasing after squirrels.
How do you contain a super mutt? You fill his brain with super squirrels. What? He says it with such conviction.
Right.
It's lovely. But yeah, Superman saves a squirrel from a giant monster, and I have a weird affinity for squirrels. So when he did that, and then he put the squirrel down, and the squirrel goes, what the? Like I enjoyed stuff like that. You know, that the moment where Mr. Terrific yells at him like, "Stop messing around, man! We got stuff to do," and he's like, "I'm not messing around.
Yeah,
I'm doing important stuff." Like he's fighting this superpowered being who ends up being a clone of Superman.
Right.
This movie gets fantastical quick. It does not try to ground any of this in like real world. Yeah, I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Because like Marvel is stuck to that to some degree, right? Like it's got this more grounded feel. And coming from 2008 where that all originated, it makes sense that they've stuck with that because that's the world and the universe they created.
I really think they should just take some notes from this films and just let go.
You know,
and make it just more fun and less serious.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I mean, even the last couple of Marvel films that we saw, they weren't. Yeah, I like Brave New World. I think some more than some people did. Yeah. But if you look at these two together, I have more fun watching this than I did Brave New World. Sure. That was for sure.
Yeah, and I really like Thunderbolts, and I think Thunderbolts has some really effective stuff in it.
But even still, it just kind of gets bogged down a little bit, I think.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you don't want everything to be the same either, right? So
I know, but the best thing about Thunderbolts is David Harbour.
That's true, and he is more fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see my point?
Yeah, I think you have a good point there.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, this is Superman's first outing from this version of the franchise. We got black holes he's getting sucked into. We got a super dog. We got drunk Supergirl. We got
which is that scene. Yeah, thanks for watching my dog.
Yeah, it just walks out. He's just like, I don't.
But he's already said that they're developing the Supergirl film.
Yes, yeah. Millie Alcock has been cast for they've been public about that for a couple months now. So that's happening.
And then Justice Gang is obviously the beginnings of the Justice League.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I like that, you know, there's hints to Maxwell Lord being in this universe and stuff. Like everything is established already, and they're just referencing to it already existing.
And Maxwell Lord is James Gunn's brother.
Yes, who has potentially one of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is there's finally one thing Republicans and Democrats can agree on. Lex Luthor sucks. He just gets in a car. I was like, that's bipartisan.
But I really did. Holt,
Nicholas Holt. Yeah.
If Nicholas Holt says that he went back and watched the original ones and really studied Gene Hackman, I would believe that 100% because it definitely has that maniacalism that Hackman had to that role back in the 70s, but just updated it now for a new generation and did it like this is really like the best thing Nicholas Holt's done
in quite a while. Yeah, I mean he was really good in the show The Great, but that show is replete with sex and all kinds of stuff.
I only saw like one episode. I meant to like go back and continue that, but I just never got around to it.
It's good, but boy, is it vulgar. And it's like, if you took all the vulgar stuff out, it would change the DNA of the show, but also it doesn't. There's a lot of vulgar.
But I like Warm Bodies that he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even the first film he did with Hugh Grant about a boy, I still think is one of his best films.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that was
that's a great little movie.
And then like he was Beast in the X-Men franchise and he was a better part of that,
right?
And of course he was in everyone's favorite movie, Renfield. And no, this is one of his better films for sure. And I think his maniacal, egotistical, insecure, envious personality in this works. Yeah. It is the right move for this story, and I think he does that performance well. I think that. Rachel Brosnahan really is like, if she's not in a bunch more movies after this, I will be surprised because she there's a few moments where she kind of reminded me a little bit of Mrs. Maisel, but it was very seldom. And outside of that, she was this different person. Like it's small things like how she, holds herself and the pace at which she speaks and all that stuff. This is a different character from other stuff she's played. She's not just doing her thing, and
It is like even the other two films that I've seen her in, The Courier with Nicholas Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay. Thank you. Sorry,
I
screwed that up.
Benedict Cucumber Butt. I know him.
She's really good in that, where she's like a CIA operative. Mm-hmm. And then she was in The Amateur that we saw earlier this year, but she's not in it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because she's a character that dies. So, yeah, this was her real time to shine, and beautifully she did.
She's fantastic. I want to talk a little bit about the plot of this. So the plot is basically
it's kind of thin.
So it's thin, but it's at the end I was like, hold on. He did a monologue about how Superman overestimated the importance of this land grab that he was trying to do, which is a very Superman 1 sort of thing. Right. And then he's like, it's not about that. It's about, I just want to kill you. And I'm like, oh, haven't you been saying that the whole time? I don't know if that matters. like it's set up as this big reveal, but if you've been paying any attention to what he's doing at all, the whole thing is about him killing someone,
right?
Or killing Superman. So I don't know, but the moment seems like it's supposed to be a reveal.
Yeah.
So that's like maybe a tiny, tiny little mark against it for like not being as clever as it thinks it is. But also I don't know if it's necessarily trying to do that, or if that was just like, oh, Superman doesn't know this information yet, so we have to tell him. Which is probably more of what it was. But this whole story about Superman interfering in a political battle that was about to burst into a real battle, and then being called out for that, and people are starting to question him. Like, it's a great plan from Lex Luthor. Like, get people to turn against him so that he has the authority to do all these dastardly deeds. And then he's, manipulating things on both sides with this pocket dimension that he travels through wormholes in. And I just thought all of that was really interesting. And I was not sold on the look of this movie as much as I was like excited for this movie. Going into it, I was like, everything's on such a wide angle lens and it's crazy. But we were sitting not in our normal seats in row J. We were in row D. So we're down a little bit closer to the screen. And
because I didn't get my tickets fast enough.
Honestly, I liked it. Like, and normally I don't like being in the lower row, but with this like very wide angle feel to it, the way that feels enveloping, and this is it Scope, the taller one?
No, it was flat.
Oh, it's flat, right? Okay. So, but it's this taller aspect ratio, and so like it just everything felt huge, and for a Superman movie, that's awesome.
So that's where I kind of want to see it in IMAX, because IMAX screens are more like the flat ratio anyway.
Yeah.
So it'll take up like all of the screens and won't have the black bars at the top and bottom of it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice them. Honestly, because it's taller than like a 2.35 aspect ratio. So like
2.35 is lower.
Yeah, it's like squished.
And then I told you this last night, even though you didn't notice, and like probably nobody else will too. I'm just very picky about these things.
And I love that you are.
Especially like in my own theater. So I've always had a problem, I think, with Theater 1, where I'm playing one of 3 screens of this, that I really thought the intensity of the bulb in the projector was low.
Yeah.
I thought the screens were, even when we watched Jurassic World, is like, it's supposed to be a dark film. I thought it was even a little bit darker. So I downloaded a couple of things, consulted like some people that I know for projector stuff, and they said, well, yeah, you can fix that. And, went into the projector and kind of played around with some stuff and did some adjusting, and boom, like it was perfect for last night.
You lovely nerd. I love it. I love it. Downloading user manuals, contacting the manufacturer. That's my kind of Wednesday. I tell you what. Oh, boy. Not look great. I just thought it was because it was like a movie that was maybe graded brighter than Jurassic World.
I wanted to make sure that it looked that way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it definitely did. It was very bright. It was very colorful. I mean, that's another thing, is like this movie is super colorful.
Yeah.
It is not a color palette of bleh. Like most
Zack Snyder.
It is bright greens. I mean, just the most vibrant color palette, and they do so much silly stuff, but it's like, yeah, that's what a hero would do. Like the times where Superman's, and Hannah actually pointed this out, my wife, she pointed out that she loves that even when the kaiju was like attacking downtown and stuff, he was still trying to find a way to get it out of there alive if he could, and not cause unnecessary damage or death. And we were just like, yeah, that feels like what a hero would do. Like he's not out to, at any cost I'll do with it, blah. Like he's like, how can I be smart about this and find a way to keep it from anyone getting hurt if possible. And we just appreciated that about the character a lot, because that feels like a hero, you know? And in a Marvel, especially as it's gone on, has become almost a string of like all anti-heroes where it's complicated people who are, not quite there. Maybe they were villains at one point or whatever, and that's what we have left.
Well, especially Venom. Venom is definitely the good example of that.
Yeah, but I mean, even looking at the Thunderbolts, that's an entire team of ex-villains. There's and then if you look at like Doctor Strange and stuff, it's like dealing with the Necronomicon and like there's so much stuff where it's like towing the line, and Superman's not. He's just not towing the line. He is getting up and trying to do the best thing he can every day, like he says in the movie. And he makes mistakes, but like he has this optimism about him that we didn't get with Zack Snyder's Superman. And I like Henry Cavill. Like I like that Superman. But this one just I left feeling hopeful. And that's not something I can say for quite a few, superhero movies we've seen.
I want to see what they come up with next.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next one. I loved seeing how they said, you know what, it's cosmic and crazy and all that stuff right off the bat. There's nothing's off the table.
Right.
Like Lex Luthor created a pocket dimension, and that kind of caused some kerfuffle, but we'll deal with that.
He even put his ex-girlfriends into.
That's so funny. He's like, she wrote an article about me, and now she's trapped in a pocket dimension.
Even the one character L that Jimmy Olsen ends up having as a contact. Every one of the Superman films does too. Kind of has like the ditzy blonde character.
Yes.
And this one is probably the best one out of all of them.
She's like the most super ditzy, like millennial person you can imagine, but she's also smart and has figured out a way out of this.
She's not to the point that she's annoying and you want her off screen.
No, you feel for Jimmy like she's a bit much, and also she has mutant toes, as he named her. I love this scene where he meets up with her, and she's like, I mean, you think my toes are weird? He's like, so you have unconventional toes. Who cares? Just trying to get the information.
Yeah, he said something about shrimp.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like there's all of that stuff, but at the same time, none of that is wasted. It's just a way to make more enjoyable the information transfers that need to happen.
Yeah.
And it builds these characters as people who have these, like he's got a weird thing about her feet look weird. That's his problem. And I loved all of those scenes where, at the beginning you're like, why is she taking selfies in the middle of this? This is insane. Like, why is she so dumb? And then it's like, oh no, she was gathering evidence.
Yeah.
She's actually kind of a genius.
Yep.
Like, that's great. That's great stuff. Oh, goodness. Metamorpho was a fun surprise. I liked Metamorpho.
The guy that
he can change himself into any
that was because that's what Lex Luthor uses to keep Superman at bay when he's captured. Because
apparently they've destroyed all the kryptonite that did exist, so that's something that's happened already in the last 3 years since he's been out doing heroing.
Yeah.
And so Metamorpho is able to recreate kryptonite to keep him, but he also is able to recreate a mini sun to give Superman a boost back up. And like that whole scene, I was watching this, was like, it is insane that this is where we're starting. It is insane that this is the first movie. We're dealing with them in a pocket dimension, getting stuck in a river, being chased down by robots, while a dog refuses to actually pick up the baby of the man who can change himself into a squid head and is trying to get out of an anti-proton river, tumbling towards a black hole, and the best thing they've got is the hope that the dog helps. Like, this is the beginning. This is insanity. And yeah, I can't wait to see what other kind of weird, wacky stuff they throw at it. Because, like, I know I mentioned to you last night, I went back and watched a couple episodes of the Justice League cartoon from the early 2000s.
You were telling me that.
And it's like, it's like this, where there's really silly stuff, but it's also a serious problem. And if you're a fan of that show and aren't sure about this Superman, I was telling Andy, like, this feels like that Superman younger, still learning the ropes a little bit, but he's not, first time out going like, oh, I can fly, woo, it's a big jump, whatever.
Right.
And so I loved it. I friggin' loved it, man.
Yeah, I did too. I want to see it again.
Hawk Girl was interesting. I don't think I've ever seen an iteration of Hawk Girl where she actually screams hawk noises.
But she did.
And quite honestly, that did annoy me a little bit.
It
was just like, it's a lot of hawk screaming. And I don't know
it didn't happen too much that it really got over the top, but just enough.
Did she kill that president?
Yeah, she
did.
Yeah,
she didn't go get him after that. It wasn't like, haha, got you.
Nope, she dropped him.
Girl. That's a little... I was a little full on. I loved the Fortress of Solitude, by the way.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And the robots.
Oh, dude. It was watching that crystal structure rise out of the... I could just put that on a loop and watch it all day. It is beautiful animation. Yeah. It is incredible rendering. The way the light reflects off the crystals. Oh, gorgeous.
And the fact that Bradley Cooper was Superman's dad.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. There are some really good... Like, I'm curious to see what I missed last night when I go see it again.
Yeah, I'm absolutely seeing this again.
Yeah, so that's why I want to see it again, because it looks like there's little stuff implanted throughout this entire film that you need to see more than once.
Yes, yeah, I'm willing to bet there's 100 different little things that you could catch if you were real big on the comics and stuff. I'm sure they've hidden
and the
things
secret
everywhere.
scenes were actually worthwhile.
Yeah, because they had no point.
Right.
Like, there's just the two secret scenes. The mid-credit scene is just Superman sitting on the moon looking back at Earth, and Krypto just like resting his head on his shoulder, and it's just this poignant sort of image.
It's just cute.
There's no but it's like that's his home, but he's also kind of separate from it. And there's so few who can understand how he feels in that way. But then the post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene was awesome.
I loved it. Honestly, I looked up and I saw that there was one in there, and I read the short description. I was like, I don't know if I want to sit here for all that, but we did. And Hannah and I had a lot of fun reading out some of the names that we thought sounded a little silly in the credits, because there were some great ones. And then,
it was like watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 with y'all last night. That was great.
And so we get to the end, and Mr. Terrific had closed a dimensional rift at some point during the climax, and he's looking at it, and Superman's looking at it, and the building that it got split earlier has come back together. And he's like, What is it? And he's like, it's just a little bit off. He's like, what do you want me to do? Break it apart and put it back together again? He's like, no, I'm. He starts stopping off. He's like, I'm sorry.
See, and that dynamic between those two characters was actually better than the dynamic between Green Lantern and him.
Yes, yeah.
And I do kind of like Nathan Fillion in the right situation.
Sure.
And I was telling you last night, like, Nathan Fillion has a long association with James Gunn.
Right.
One of James Gunn's first films is a movie called Slither. Mm-hmm. And it's an alien invasion. It's real campy and corny and horror film.
Yeah.
But I like it just because it's very silly.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be,
it's on my list now. I do want to see it.
It's meant to be silly.
Right.
So
and Nathan Fillion's great for that kind of stuff.
The good guy, and he's the hero. But just I liked him in this, but the dynamic between him and Superman should have been the same as the one between Mr. Terrific and him, and it felt off.
It was a little. I couldn't quite understand like their whole history, not necessarily, because he's like. He's real antagonistic towards him after the recording gets played.
I think it's
for the
jealousy.
World. I think so, yeah. Like, because, he pulls up at the not Yugoslavia, but Krakozhia. It's not that either. I'm just remembering movies from Steven Spielberg now.
Well, even when like the little kid, like during the battle scene, so the other parts of this story too, is Lex Luthor has been financing, generally a terrorist country.
Yeah, it's Baravia, and the other one starts with an L, but I can't remember.
To get his own, for Lex Luthor to get his own country.
Yeah.
And they're going to wipe out another country that's very smaller and weaker, and they can't really defend himself. But that scene where that kid hoists that Superman symbol and is like sitting there like closing his eyes and saying, Superman. That is just the stuff like that throughout this entire film that's just so effective.
Yeah.
And it may not seem like a lot, but when you watch it and go back and like think about those things, that's one of the things that comes up, I think, in my brain.
Yeah.
And it's just great to have that.
They're getting at the idea too that the things that Superman stands for are not, I mean, they very specifically avoid saying "and the American way," like their truth and justice and how those are universal ideas, which sounds very nice, but also there's a small political statement being made, and I'm sure you could draw a parallel between Baravia and Jarhanpur and Israel and Palestine, and I think that I may be misquoting this, so I'll have to double check on this, but I'm pretty sure that James Gunn wanted there to be a bit of a.
It was intentional.
Yeah, and so that your mileage may vary on how annoyed you are with that. If that annoys you, or if you're in agreement with it, or whatever.
But here's the best thing about this film too. It is a really, really good family film.
Yes, yeah. There is one GD that gets dropped, but outside of that, I can't remember a lot of language.
Well, when Supergirl says the B word.
Well, that one too. Yeah.
But in all honesty, this is something like even more so than Jurassic. Like you can bring the whole family to this, and there's nothing bad.
And I think the kids will have more fun with it too.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Crypto.
Yeah, Crypto's great, man.
Crypto.
And I was interested in the choice to never have him be a real dog. They never do like a switch. He is always a fully CG animated dog.
Yeah.
Which he's a very good one.
Yeah.
You can still tell though, like there's some sort of like digital sharpness to him or something. I don't know why. But fur is so hard to do. Fur is incredibly difficult to do. Hard surfaces, metals and stuff, so much easier.
Water is the other one to do too.
Yeah.
And that's where
wet dog.
Yeah.
Why do I smell wet dog?
There's two films that do water very well. Surf's Up that Sony did. Like that's the most beautiful water I've ever seen in a cartoon ever. And The Croods. The Croods had like just beautiful water in that too.
I'll raise you also Cars 2.
Oh, okay.
Cars 2 has great water in that opening scene. Fantastic stuff. Everything else about that movie pretty bad, but
I like Cars 2.
I don't like it as a Cars movie, but I like it as a Mater movie. Why not just call it Mater?
I still think that movie's fun just because it's making fun of James Bond.
Yeah, that's great.
And I really like that.
I do love that about it. And I quote, do not eat the pistachio ice cream all the time.
I want to siphon your gas. That's the other thing. I love that.
Oh, my goodness. Speaking of funny voices, I loved Ma Kent in this when she was on the phone with him.
Yeah.
And she's leaning over and yelling into the phone with both her hands like up to make sure he can hear her. Like that, man, they're so endearing in this movie.
Yeah.
And that, you don't get a lot of scenes with them, but that scene between Superman and Pa Kent is so good. Like it's a heartfelt little moment. It doesn't harp on it or anything.
Oh.
But he, that moment where he turns to him, he said, "I could not be more proud of you." After Superman has learned this quote unquote truth about his parents sending him to have a harem of women, which everyone's saying it's legit, but I'm still not 100% sure if that's the way they're going with this, or if that was still more Lex Luthor's, manipulation.
It is.
Like you'd think so, but at the same time, Mr. Terrific says, "I know these forensics guys. They wouldn't say it was legit if it wasn't legit." So there's like an in-universe outside of Lex Luthor verification of it.
Oh.
But also when you have a lady who can make herself interface with the computer and see everything with her eyeballs, perhaps
Lucy.
she can. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about the engineer?
I like the engineer.
I thought it was cool. Yeah. She does not die at the end.
More than I liked Lucy.
That's a low bar. All right. No, I thought the villains in this were really interesting. I don't know that much about Ultraman. I don't know if he's historically just a Superman clone.
I don't know either. I know our film buyer, he loved it, and he, I asked him earlier this week when the screening started happening. And he said his only complaint was that there was too many characters jammed into it. I really didn't feel that. It wasn't to the point that you couldn't keep track of who was who.
Sure.
When you're trying to figure that out with focusing on everything that's going on in the film, then it seems like too much, but not in this case.
Okay.
Like, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, like I think that in a vacuum, there's a point to be made. Let's say there's no superhero franchises. Let's just say that for the last 20 years, people have not been up to date on all things superhero all the time. All right. In a vacuum, it'd be like, well, this is a lot. Like, because I was saying earlier, like, it's insane that this is where we're starting with the Squid Boy and the black hole and the dog. Like, this is insane. But I think the audiences now are prepped for, if I go into a superhero movie, there's a lot of other stuff going on,
right?
That I can just get from context, and I think this movie leans on that a little bit, but it's not to its detriment. I agree with you. I think you can totally keep track of who's who. It's, and if you're confusing Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern, I mean, the haircut. Just look at the haircut. But
and then our favorite Suits actor is in this too, is Perry White.
Perry White,
the guy that played Perry White.
Yeah. I love him.
Yeah, when he showed up, I was like, just
isn't he in
casting
Parks and Rec? He's
I don't know. I know him from Suits.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen
and
Suits.
That bad '90s film that I like, Hackers.
Oh yeah, that's a bad movie. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's Angelina Jolie's first big.
Yes,
film.
it was. Yeah,
yep.
And then was Gone in 60 Seconds around the same time?
That was after.
That was more into the 2000s.
She was a little more established at that point.
Yeah. Anything else we should talk about with this? Oh, the Mr. Terrific fight scene where Lois Lane is like safe in his bubble that he left behind, and he's just kicking butt like crazy.
Yeah,
like that was insane. That was such a cool sequence.
That and Crypto get the toy.
Crypto get the toy made me laugh so hard. I was like, yes,
because the Superman figures out that the Ultraman is connected by these little drones that are hanging around. And that's how they control him.
Yeah, so I don't think he's actually connected through the drones. It's just that Lex Luthor can give him commands through whatever communication system, but the drones are just there to watch. But Lex Luthor is calling out. Okay, so this is one of those things where it's like, okay, that's dumb. He's come up with 2,500 different different fight moves, and 1A is punch in the face. And he's sitting there trying to tell Ultraman what to do. He's like, 1A, 1A, 1A. And it's so dumb. But at that point, I was like, yeah, 1A. Because earlier he's like, 34B, 67 X. I'm like, bingo. I don't know. Like, what? But like, it seemed real dumb early on, and then the more they did it, the more I'm just like, yeah, this is fine.
But when he's like, Crypto get the toy, and that dog takes off and just starts dismantling everyone, and everybody at the headquarters in Luthor Corps is like losing their mind.
I love how one guy goes, 2B is down, and then the guy next to him is like, we lost 2B. And he's like, I just said that, Terry.
See, that's where, going back to my main point, is that you're making a serious comic book film, but you're not taking it seriously.
Right, yeah. And people being mad at each other for repeating information and not paying attention is a very real thing that people do. Like, it makes total sense. So it fits really well within those moments. But it does give you a little break from the world ending, sort of thing. Oh goodness! Anything else worth mentioning?
No, go see it.
Yeah, go see it.
You will not regret it.
Enjoy looking at those mutant toes. All right, yeah. I think it's time to get into the news. I got some news for you.
Okay, cool.
So first up, Tom Holland says that Nolan's The Odyssey is unlike anything we've ever seen, while praising the filmmaker's impeccable style and craft. He doesn't say whether it's his filmmaking style or his clothes, but either way,
so it's
impeccable style.
Well, Christopher Nolan only wears like one suit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is impeccable. I can't pack it. I tell you, I've put on my beak. I'm
for
gone
as much
for
as you made fun of the trailer last week when we saw it on Jurassic World, I still liked it.
I wasn't making fun of it. I was just saying that John Bernthal seems like such a weird guy to put in old grease.
Like that's why I put it on Superman this week too. I still thought it fit with that fan crowd.
Yeah.
And it's got a year, so I can play that trailer till the cows come home from now until next July, and it's not going to matter.
Yep.
But you can definitely like Jessica. I leaned over to Jessica and was like, "Can you tell what movies that I really want to see that are on this trailer pack?"
Oh, that reminds me of something my wife leaned over to me and said during the movie. This is my favorite part of the movie. Crypto's jumping around the first time they go to the Fortress of Solitude, like at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, bad boy, or whatever he says. And Hannah leans over to me and she goes, Crypto's a girl. I was like, what? She goes, Crypto's a girl. I was like, why do you know that? She goes, she ain't got no balls. And I leaned over. I was like, it's really freaking weird that you looked. Best part of the movie.
I'm not going to go there, Hannah. That's okay. I'll just leave that alone.
She was just like she had to tell me. She like beckoned me over to her so she could whisper in my ear, "You ain't got no balls." I love my wife so much. Okay, up next, there is an article on JoeBlow.com that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's entitled, What's Wrong with Hollywood and How to Fix It? So what were the points in this that... the main point is it's the accountants, stupid.
Yeah.
According to their article. So what do you think's wrong with Hollywood? How would you fix it? Moreover, we're not just critics, Andy. We're problem solvers.
Okay, my approach to this is, from actually working in this industry and seeing how things have evolved, like definitely through the last 10 years in COVID and everything. My biggest problem right now is ads.
Yeah.
I've seen it when I go to other theaters because I don't just watch theaters here at my theater. I go to stuff that we can't get.
It's market research if the IRS asks.
No,
market research.
Write
it off on the taxes.
I love all kinds of films, and I love smaller films, and I love films that we're just unable to play just because we only have 6 screens.
Right, yeah.
But when I have to sit through, and even on AMC's app, and I will call you out on this, where it says right at the top of the screen, your film starts 25 to a half an hour after the start time.
Insane.
You have got to be kidding me.
I do not pay to watch ads.
No, I don't either. And it's not even, I have a hard time sitting through a half hour of trailers, and as much as I like watching trailers,
right, yeah.
I don't need to sit through a half an hour of them because I've already seen most of them before I get to the theater. And then the other thing is, it's not even trailers that's in that half an hour. It's more ads.
Yes.
And I understand that theaters have to generate ad revenue. I'm in that situation myself. I get it. But that is what the pre-show is for.
Yeah.
And we get paid for that.
Right.
The company that makes those ads, and then they get a portion, and then we get a portion as well. That's where we're making our revenue. I am not getting anything by putting in more ads in the trailer pack. And I refuse to do more than 15 minutes.
Some ding-dong somewhere figured out that being closer to the movie means you're more likely to be seen, and said, what if we put it in between trailers, and how much extra can we charge? And some idiot at some freaking corporate conglomerate M&M's Coca-Cola diabetes machine company said, we'll pay double. And that's how this happened. I'm sorry, was that too much? You gave me this look like, holy crap, man, chill out.
And the other, I have respect for my audience and our customers.
Yes.
And I will not put more than 15 minutes of trailers before a film. I won't do it. There's no way. Even if it's just the trailers that I want to see.
Yes. Yes, Andy.
But I'm very picky about what I put on screen. Like, it's got to be, it has to feel like it's in context of the film. Yeah. It has to feel like, and even, the ad pack that I put on Superman was generally everything that I wanted to see.
Right, yeah.
But
Superman was also something you wanted to see, so it makes sense.
But it's also, Running Man is going to be a big November film.
That's going to be great.
Odyssey is going to be big next year. The Naked Gun was made solely to put on Superman, and that trailer was freaking awesome.
That was awesome. Loved it.
And I had to yes, I will put that on there. And then Fantastic Four is the cell phone thing before the film.
I love
that. That works
I love
too.
The Art Deco style of
it
too. Yeah.
So, and then Tron is in there too because it's another fanboy film.
Sure. Yeah.
So all of that aligned makes for what I think is a perfect trailer pack. Am I going to put that on F1? No, I put stuff that's a little bit different. Yeah. That, like right now, I even think I have Downton Abbey 3 on our F1 trailer pack because that's an older audience. That's what it's going to appeal to. Right. I look at like the demographics of who are going to see these films and what I should program accordingly to that and not go outside of that. So that's why there isn't that at the AMC and Cinemark and Regal levels. There is generally the studios pay for the ad, pay for the trailers. They tell them what they are going to put on what films and where, and then AMC also puts in like the extra ads, and so does Cinemark, and so does Regal, and then to create that revenue. And then I think AMC really screwed up now by making Wednesdays an additional bargain day.
Yeah,
that just tells me you are in big trouble as an exhibitor chain when you have to put 2 bargain days back to back.
Right.
That's
not a good position to be in.
That's big red flags, in my opinion.
And by increasing the amount of ads and the amount of time people have to wait and pushing your shows back further and further, you're reducing the amount of people who want to come to that. And
you're going to reduce the amount of show times that you can have within a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you want to maximize those show times. And like we knew we were going to have this on 3 screens this week, but one of the screens had to have Elio as like the first show of the day. But I strategically planned everything out. And so, like, the shows that are on multiple screens are on top of each other, too. There's a half-hour leeway between each of the shows.
Yeah.
So they're not like... Cinemark has one that's at, like, 7 o'clock and then another one at 7:10. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. And you're just going to confuse...
Unless one's like a 3D showing, but even then, it's
you're just going to confuse your customers.
Yeah, and I'm easily confused. So like I'm right in the middle of being like, what?
So the other thing that was mentioned in the Joe Blow article was the price of popcorn.
Yes, I was going to ask you about this one specifically.
And they said, I think I can quote this, is that there's not enough souvenir buckets that you can throw at people to get them to buy all this stuff. To some extent, I agree. Here's what you don't hear in that article that somebody from inside the business will tell you. Larger sizes are your friends, especially when you come with families. Any financial like show that you listen to right before summer and Christmas season, they normally have these exposés on how to get more bang for your buck when you go to the theater. The first thing they tell you is check with the theater, see if they do refills on your large popcorn and large drink. Mm-hmm. It is the best money value for you. Right. And I agree with that. And that's why here at Grand Avenue, the large sizes are free refills for the drink and the popcorn.
Yeah.
We do souvenir buckets, which has really taken off within the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then what we do that the other ones won't is you get free refills on those for as long as we're playing the film.
Yeah, like I came in last night and filled my cup from How to Train Your Dragon. Didn't get charged a dime. It's great. And that's one of the places, like Grand Avenue, and I know this sounds like an ad, but we're not being paid for this. David, if you want to pay us, we'll take it. But like the reality is when I come here to watch a movie, I feel like I'm cared about more than any other place I've ever been. And that means so much to me as someone who, like, there's not a lot in this life I enjoy, okay? Like, I'm a boring person. I've never had alcohol. I don't do drugs. I can't even drive fast because I look at the mileage I'm getting on my gas and I'm like, I want that number to go up, not down. So I enjoy nothing in life. I don't even like food, Andy. I'm a picky eater. The theater is a nice place for me, and it's way nicer here than anywhere else. So
it is. Thank you. The other thing that people don't realize too, and you know, I will let you know this right off the bat, theaters don't make money off of tickets.
Nope.
Like if you want to see the bill, I will be more than happy to show any person that comes into the building how much we have to pay the studio for when we play a film.
Yeah.
They take anywhere between 53 and 65% of what we make.
Yeah.
So we're not making a whole lot. So how we have to keep the lights on, pay our staff, make sure I have money to buy supplies to keep our kitchen and concession and our parlor area stocked.
Well, you think that popcorn just appears out of nowhere?
Yeah,
Are you crazy?
No, it doesn't come out of the Pocket universe, let me tell you.
The Pocket universe.
So
thanks for the courtesy laugh. I appreciate it.
That's why concession prices are the way that they are.
Yeah, it's like that's what the theater sells.
That's how we keep our lights on.
Yeah. And the lights are not cheap. Have you ever looked at the price on one of these?
No, I know. I can show you an electric bill too.
Oh my gosh!
So that's why I went to LED bulbs with that throughout the theater. That'll save us money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So that was like the big things that I got out of that article. the person that they said they had a contest. I really wish I had caught on that in time. They would have gotten my 2 cents, and I think I would have been a little bit more critical than probably some of the goofballs that they had to respond to that.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm a little more credible because I work in the business.
Yeah, and you've been doing it for
years,
a couple decades now.
Yeah.
So like you have seen all the ebbs and flows and the
Right.
patterns and all of that stuff.
The other merchandise thing too, I think it's really stupid when AMC, Cinemark, and Regal put that merchandise on sale before the movie even comes out.
2 weeks before it comes out sometimes. It's insane.
Because then by the time the film comes out, you have none of it.
Yeah.
And then people are going to come looking for that stuff and, we're sold out of it.
Yeah. That's why if How to Train Your Dragon drops on Friday is when you can buy them at Grand Avenue. That's fair.
Right.
that makes sense.
I start when normally anymore the pattern used to be like midnight shows on Thursday and then the regular run started on Thursday. That's now changed to the regular run starts on Thursday, normally anywhere after like noon.
Yeah.
And then through the rest of Thursday to get a jump on the box office for the weekend. And then Friday has like the full run all day.
And that's a relatively new thing too. Because I think even when I was working here, it was Thursday midnight.
Right.
At the earliest.
Right.
Yeah.
So when the shows start, when we open the doors Thursday, that stuff is for sale.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
I agree.
Speaking of how it should be. No, I don't have.
So that's my tirade and rant for but anybody listening, like you really want to know these things, even if you stop by Grand Avenue and want to talk to me, I will be more than happy to discuss these things with you.
Just don't ask stupid questions. Nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
So James Gunn apparently is considering TV spinoffs for Superman characters Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen.
Oh,
Would you watch a Jimmy Olsen series?
Maybe not.
Honestly,
if it had,
if it's a string
of
it, if it's a string of him like getting involved with women who are way out of his league, but for some reason he finds some weird thing about them that he doesn't like, I would totally watch that.
Yeah, I think I would. If you put it in that context, I would.
And I definitely would watch a Mr. Terrific show. I think, great.
Definitely.
And interesting, the guy who Edie. I think it's Edie. I hope that I'm getting that right. Who played Mr. Terrific originally when he saw the costume, he felt like the T was basically blackface and he was uncomfortable with it. So he did some research on the character and he found out that it's actually like armored and it's also how he interfaces with the technology. And found some more stuff about the character. And he was like, it actually kind of went from this thing that I was like not so happy with to something that I really appreciated. And I just thought that was neat. Like, the fact that, even as a black actor who I believe he's Kenyan American, so he's got some roots in Kenya.
I think so.
He had this thing that he was not so sure about, and then did some research and found some sort of like excitement about it, and I just think that's a neat thing. We could all probably do a little more about that. I think I would watch a Mr. Terrific series with no hesitation.
Yeah, I would too.
Good news, The Naked Gun only has an 85-minute runtime.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Perfect. That is the perfect amount. Make it short, make it sweet, make me want more.
And the credits started at 1:20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My question is, and I still haven't gotten an answer to this yet, I haven't seen anything. What's the rating going to be?
Ooh.
I still have a feeling that Paramount's going to want to really push for the PG-13.
I
don't think it's going to be R.
Because it hasn't, they haven't released anything about what the rating
no.
will be, have they?
But that, like I said, that trailer that was made specifically for Superman was freaking hilarious. So it really makes me more optimistic that the film is actually going to be very funny. It's going to be stupid, but it's supposed to be, so I don't have a problem with that.
And I saw an ad earlier today where he's talking to one of the other cops, and the cop's like, they didn't even read him his Miranda rights. And he goes, no, I'm pretty sure Miranda was the real estate person. Carrie who writes, and then Sam is
I still like the line of the trailer that I've seen lately as well. There's nothing, the feeling that you get when you kill a man. It's freaking great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic line. And I was excited the first time that I heard it was Liam Neeson, and then the more we got into it, the more I'm like, I don't know, will that work? But then I'm so totally sold on him. He's doing it exactly as serious as he does like The Iceman.
Right.
Or Ice Road Trucker.
Oh, The Ice Road Trucker.
3, The Revenging, or whatever the movie is now.
Those are really bad too.
But like taking that, like having the forethought to look at that and go, that's your Naked Gun reboot. That's great. That's a stroke of genius, and I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
There's a Scrubs reboot. It's happening. That's been confirmed.
Who cares?
Okay, I have weird news. This is not necessarily movie stuff. It's HBO series stuff.
Okay.
Larry David, you're familiar with him? Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yep. Teaming up with former President Barack Obama to make a new sketch comedy limited series.
Really?
Yeah. And this is actually, I've said this for years, regardless of how you feel about Obama, he's a funny guy. Like I think it was like a Funny or Die skit or something where it was like, thanks Obama. And they actually got him in it. And he has this giant cookie and he tries to put it in a glass of milk and it won't fit. And he goes, ding, ding. Thanks, Obama. I was just like, that's a great, lean into it, have fun with it.
I guess you have to have a sense of humor when you're president as
well.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. Or a lot of spray tan.
Yeah. Oh, that sounded racist.
No, what? No. What?
Are you trying to say that he shouldn't have done the blackface?
No, I didn't say anything about blackface. What are you talking about? You're going to get me canceled. I didn't even do anything.
I just like making the vein on your neck stand.
No, it's great.
That's awesome.
I like feeling that the pressure in my head is definitely increased and I should probably see a doctor. Former President Obama said, I've sat across the table from some of the world's most difficult leaders and wrestled with some of our most intractable problems. Nothing has prepared me for working with Larry David.
Oh, yeah. Like if you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm,
yeah.
Like I was really sad when that show ended. Because as I tell my wife, I'm like, that's going to be me in a couple of years. She's like, couple of years? Really? That's now. She's like, you're not much different.
I love that. This is how Larry David described getting into this. He said, once Curb ended, I celebrated with a 3-day foam party. After a violent allergic reaction to the suds, I yearned to return to my simple life as a beekeeper, harvesting organic honey from the wildflowers in my meadow. Alas, one day my bees mysteriously vanished, and so it is with a heavy heart that I returned to television, hoping to ease the loss of my beloved hive. So, yeah, I have no idea what this will be. I do have an idea that this will probably be pretty funny. And I think Obama should have always been a comedian because, his presidency was a joke. Anyway. Okay.
Wow.
Look, it's just... You can't not make a political joke when you're talking... I said Orange Man bad. I've done both. Everyone's happy. No, wait, you made it blackface. So I'm wrong again.
I did that on purpose.
Very good, very good. Speaking of mistakes, outside of the 2008 election, Freddie Prinze Jr. tells us why he retired.
I thought you were meant about doing this podcast.
No. No, this was not a mistake. This was a curse. It's very different.
Okay.
So Freddie Prinze Jr.
Why he went back? I know what you did last summer.
Why he went back? Apparently...
Because he needs a paycheck.
Yeah, actually, so I have the quote here. He says, quote, money.
Shock.
That was only for us in the room. Like, that joke won't be that funny to other people, but to you, it looked like I was reading. I was like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him either way. So, yeah, he...
that wasn't what he said?
No, actually, it wasn't what he said. I'm trying to find the actual quote now. I've lost it somewhere in here.
Sarah Michelle Gellar needs a new wardrobe. He needs some work.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's the only reason, because the advance word on that is it's bad.
Oh, you had to watch the video to see the quote. That's why. Well, I don't care.
It's money.
It's money.
We'll make it up.
There's a new trailer out for Bambi the Reckoning. Go check that out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, goodness.
That's going to be news. Like the ultimate lineup for us is like the Popeye, the Bambi, and Scream Boat.
Yeah.
We gravitate to bad horror films.
We're just going to have to wash it all down with some Toy Story or something at the end. Just be like, oh, yeah, that's what movies are like. That's great. So James Gunn, apparently, he did have the opportunity to direct Superman in the DC EU back when it was still a Henry Cavill thing. So Gunn explained recently, though, when he was offered to direct Superman back in 2018, he said no. He said, I was daunted by the task. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. Also, if you remember, there was other stuff happening with Superman at the time. So it sounds like he basically was just like, they didn't want it to be... it was going to be politically messy. So I said no, and I took the Suicide Squad, which was a more familiar type of group to me, which I'm glad I did. That was fun.
Oh, then Peacemaker showed up and...
Yeah, I did see that. This says, however, Gunn couldn't get Superman out of his head. How would I do it if I did it? What would that movie be like? How could I make it work for today's audience? How could it speak to people? And eventually I started to think maybe it was something I could do. So when they reapproached me with the idea for writing Superman, whatever it was 3 years ago, I said yes. So yeah, it's look, I think he knocked it out of the park.
James Gunn, we're glad you did.
Yeah, we really are. And
please come on the show. We'd love to talk to you.
Things I'm not so excited about outside of having. I'm excited to have guests on if that ever happens.
Not having James Gunn on the show. Really?
No, I'm not excited about not. I'm bad at segues. The vein in my neck is coming back. So, Die Hard and Stuber. Do you remember these two movies?
Which ones?
Die Hard and Stuber.
Yeah. Okay. Stuber was the one with I can't never pronounce the guy's name.
Oh.
That was in The Big Sick.
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani. Yes.
Which is actually, and then Goofball from Batista.
Yes, Dave Batista.
Which Stuber is not nearly as bad as it looks. Like, at least it is funny.
Okay, yeah, because I remember watching the preview and going like, this looks like every crap comedy I've never wanted to watch in my entire life.
But there are some scenes to it. It's not horrible. It's not as bad as, say, like Taxi.
Yeah.
With Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
Few things are as bad as Taxi with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
But then the other one, Die Hard, was with Kevin Hart.
Yes.
I never bothered with that just because that looked even bad for me to watch.
Yeah, which is saying something because you've seen some stinkers. Well, the guy who wrote it, Tripper Clancy, which actually is a kind of a cool name. He was the writer on those, and he's apparently also going to be doing a reimagining of Night at the Museum. So we're going to get a reboot of this franchise now. I'm
rolling my eyes and shaking my head already.
Yes, believe me, I could hear it in the microphone. There was kind of like a rolling away the stone sort of sound.
Well, do those movies really need to be rebooted?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
I mean, they did make 574 and 413 million, so they're a win for the studio.
The third one was really pushing it.
Yeah, that one was what was that one called?
It was
Secret of the Tomb.
Yeah,
and that one did.
And it wasn't good.
363 million. So it's been a case of diminishing returns for this movie.
The best one was the Smithsonian one, the second one. I really like that.
I still love the first one more, but the second one's really good too. I love Amy Adams as
Amelia Earhart.
That was great.
And like there's no way they're going to be able to capture like Robin Williams doing Teddy Roosevelt.
No, but
I just don't think
they're just gonna have to do different stuff. Like if they did it and none of these characters were returning characters, like don't try to do the same stuff. Do completely new museum stuff.
I still don't have hope for it.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be great. I'm just saying it might be nice to have a little bit of a different cast of ancient people.
Figures.
Yeah, have fun with it. Don't do the obvious ones, right? No George Washington, no Lincoln. You need to have like who was the president with the shortest run, so they can just make a bunch of jokes where it was like, well, I was president. They're like, for 2 days, and just ignore him the whole movie.
I think it was William Henry Harrison, wasn't it?
Let's find out.
Because he got pneumonia because of the inauguration and died like 30 days later.
William Henry Harrison, ninth president, served the shortest time, only 31 days.
Yep.
Yeah, it's if he's like, well, when I was leading the country, and they're like, for a month, chill out. No one cares what you have to say. You didn't lead us through anything. He's like, it was a very eventful 31 days. They're like, you died of just food poisoning or whatever. That's the kind of stuff that I think you do that, make it completely different, and that can be fun. But I have no idea if this will be good. It won't be good. Chris Pratt is set to return for the sequel to the Garfield movie.
Yeah, I really wasn't. When I read that the other morning, I was like, is that for real?
Yeah, apparently
I was like,
so.
Did Sony really make enough money off of that because I know it bombed here.
It grossed $260 million worldwide. So
where?
Worldwide.
Because, of course, I took a snapshot and sent it to Drew because Drew still argues with me like what a great film it was, and I slept through most of it, and I did not miss a thing.
Yeah.
And I get my chance to actually sleep through it again because it's coming up in a couple weeks for our kid feature. But I'll be awake out in the lobby like serving popcorn.
Well, okay, so it did $260 million, but it is worth noting that
it lost money though.
It didn't go to China apparently, or Sony Pictures wasn't doing distribution. Maybe someone else.
China was smart enough to go no.
So Garfield's budget was only $60 million, so it quadrupled its budget.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a win for them. But you got to imagine Chris Pratt is more expensive the second time. If
but you got to figure how many Sony's got to be racking up the losses between Craven and
no, that was a tax scheme.
Like the only thing that really comes to mind lately that they made money off of was 20 years later.
Yes, but you have to consider also that if you look at the accounting in Hollywood, no movie has made money for 150 years. And they've only been around for 100 years.
Screw things up.
Yeah, they mess with everything, man. Hollywood accounting is like, there's a book on it that I can't remember the name of it. But
and as we've mentioned this like several times on the podcast, like how Joker Folia Do cost $250 million to make, and it looked like it had a price tag of $10 million.
Well, it went up the director's nose. That's how it cost $250 million. I mean, goodness. At the very least, I was hoping I could get myself some booger sugar by halfway through that just to make it. That's a joke that I don't mean. Don't do drugs.
I am curious about Ari Aster's new film is coming out in a couple weeks, Edgington. Yes. And it's with Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal.
Is it Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be definitely more political. It's being marketed as like a modern day Western. So I'm definitely wanting to see it. My biggest stumbling block is I can't stand Ari Aster. Like I didn't like Hereditary. I definitely didn't like Midsommar. And even the last one that he did with Joaquin Phoenix, Beau is Afraid, like nobody went to see that thing either.
Yeah. Austin Butler's in it though.
Yeah, playing a cult leader. So that's also kind of...
That just seems like something Austin Butler does in his free time.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. That man, he's like... He's a good-looking guy, right? Like classically handsome, right? But there's something off about him in every role that I've seen him in. I'm just like, that man drinks stuff that has like ancient potions in it or something, and then looks around the room and imagines himself as a fly. Like he's a weird guy.
I know as much as like you're not looking forward to it, but Darren Aronofsky's new film with him, and I'm really looking forward to Caught Stealing.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a major pass for me.
I'll be doing the podcast myself.
Probably. We'll just go watch different stuff and we'll come back and be like, "What'd you see?" And be like, "Ew, gross." I'm sorry, Darren Aronofsky. It's one of those people that like, even in spirit, I don't want to. Even if we see the movie for free, I don't want to support him at all. I want that seat to be empty. We all have our opinions.
I did see you threw down that challenge a couple weeks ago, and I did fulfill it. I saw a deep cover on Amazon Prime.
Did you really?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It was okay.
It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't terrible.
No.
It had some fun moments. Nick Mohammed's all right. He's funny.
I just like it. It reminds me of like a Guy Ritchie film too, which I like.
Right, but it's like it's one of those movies that if I was sick and at home, like laying on the couch, home from school, like that would be the perfect movie to watch because it's low stakes if I'm not paying attention.
Bryce Dallas Howard's always good to look at, too.
She's great, and I think it's probably my favorite thing that Legolas has ever done. He's great in that. Like he's having so much fun with it, and I appreciated that. The jokes, you can see most of them coming. Yeah. You know, like it's like, okay, yeah.
It's got to be better than Heads of State on Prime right now, too.
Does that have John Cena in it?
Yeah.
No interest.
Yeah, exactly.
No interest at all. I'm done with John Cena. Okay. Everyone says you can't see him. I wish I didn't have to. Playing with Fire is garbage.
Oh, you're really going to...
Come at me, Drew.
My son is going to be looking for you.
Don't come at me, Drew. You're bigger than I am. I think you could win.
At this point, I think he is.
Dude, he is. He's got the height of a 45-year-old man who's been in the gym. He's incredible. But yeah, terrifying. Bill Skarsgård, who is apparently in The Bride.
Yes.
Christian Bale's playing Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, which Maggie Gyllenhaal's the director on that. I did see about 20 minutes of it in Vegas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. because this was supposed to come out like this September.
Uh-huh.
It's not coming out until next March.
Ooh.
So that already doesn't bode well. And from what I saw, it looks like a film that would appeal to me and nobody else.
You alone.
Right. It's definitely a different take on The Bride of Frankenstein. It's very punk rockish and very like
It's funny you should say that because that's exactly what Sarsgaard told Deadline.
Yeah. And I didn't even read that interview, but that's definitely the theme and the feel that I got from what I saw of it. But I would love to see it. It's going to be a financial failure.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. And this isn't backed by Universal either. Like, this is not part of the...
It was... Warner Brothers is supposed to release it.
Yeah, so, but Universal, has like the Monsterverse, and this is like... They're like, that's not us.
Yeah.
This is completely separate from us. Don't blame us for this. We did Dracula Untold. We'll take that on the chin. Okay, that's our fault. But don't blame us for The Bride.
And Jessie Buckley is actually the bride, who I like her. She's a great actress.
Oh, what has she been in?
The Dirty Little Letters movie that me and my wife saw that we really liked.
Buckley.
Wicked
Little Letters?
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
Wicked Little Letters, and the movie, the horror film for A24.
Men?
Yes.
Yeah. She was also in I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of like projects that have been critically acclaimed but aren't like mainstream kind
right.
of things.
Men is a strange movie for A24, but it suits them.
What is that about?
And generally, like, her fiance commits suicide. She goes to a town that all the men look the same and is kind of haunted by the memory of her fiance killing himself. It's a strange film.
Interesting. Oh, that reminds me. They address in Superman why the glasses work. They're hypno glasses.
Yeah.
They make his face appear differently.
Yeah.
I love that they threw that out there. Anyway. There will be an unrated cut of Megan 2.0. I'm very excited for this.
Just for you and my son.
Dude, I freaking loved it.
The bomb that's still going off in the distance, like Universal is like, Blumhouse is just having cases of bicarbs shipped to their office over this movie. Because like nobody saw I saw the failure in the distance.
Yeah, $33.5 million on a budget of $15 to $25 million. So this did not do, like the first one, didn't it do gangbusters?
Yeah, first one was because
first one was $181 million on a budget of 12. That's such a crazy drop off.
And here's why. They released that film in like the beginning part of January when there's nothing out. It doesn't have any competition. It was PG-13, so it was easily marketable to a teen audience, and everybody showed up for it because there was nothing new at the time.
Yeah, was this one R or was it PG-13?
No, it was PG-13.
Okay.
They screwed up. They should have kept the same release date, released it like the beginning of next year, not in the summertime. And it would have done another gangbusters like film again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because it's like, it's exactly the kind of dumb movie. After Christmas and all that stuff happens, you go and you're just like, I'm exhausted. I've had to be around my family. They all made fun of...
I want to see a killer doll.
Yeah, I want to see a killer doll. And I want to just imagine that it's my uncle's face because he wouldn't stop talking about how all the food I eat is white because I like turkey and bread rolls. Shut up. Shut up, Darren. Anyway, I don't have an Uncle Darren. This is a joke. Or do I? No one will ever know where I really stand. Do I like Obama or the Orange Man? Who knows? Yeah, but there will be an unrated cut of Megan 2.0, and I'm very excited for that because I remember sitting in there just going like, I know they went further than this.
Yeah.
So, oh, goodness. Last little bit of news here. James Gunn says that he's read Matt Reeves' Batman 2 script now and says it is, quote, great.
Okay.
That's all I
really
need to know.
didn't have any doubt about that to begin with.
No, not at all. So excited for that. I need to go back and rewatch
too.
the first one. And also, one of the main lenses that they use during the car chase is it's called a Helios 44-2 50 millimeter f1. No, I think maybe it's an f2.8 lens. Anyway, I have that lens. I ordered it from Russia. Like I have one of the old ones. I bought it before the Batman came out, and I've been using it on some photo stuff that I've been playing around with. And you get this weird like swirly bokeh out of focus elements in the background. It's so cool. And you can get them for like $100. It's crazy. Obviously, the ones that cinema lenses have gears for the focus ring and stuff. Whereas photography lenses, it'll be like a smooth thing for you to grab.
It's a manual.
Yeah. So what they'll do with these old lenses that were photography lenses at the time, in order to get them to where they're compatible with like focus pullers, which is basically a gear that you can rotate, they will rehouse the lens. So they take the same glass elements from 50 years ago and they put it in a new metal housing that keeps all of the optical distances between individual lens elements, because like in a 50 millimeter lens you see the front and the back, but there's probably 9 to 15 elements inside the lens, and they'll rehouse it in these bigger things that interface with the focus gears. And on some lenses it'll have like a clicked aperture where it's like it goes from 2.8 to 4 and it goes click. And what they do is they declick the aperture so that they can actually roll the focus, or sorry, the exposure smoothly without you being able to notice. That's how, when they go from outside to inside in a movie, they actually have to open the aperture as they go through the door.
I know that.
And if it clicks, you'll see it go like you're taking a photo, with a stills camera.
Well, even in the opening shot of Godfather where they're pulling the camera back, they had to like build something onto the camera for them to smoothly do that transition and pull away from the main actor that's doing the dialogue.
It's crazy how much work goes into a simple shot like that. You're like, well, you're just moving backwards slow. And it's like, oh, you wish you were just moving backwards slow. Ever heard of diffraction? Anyway, so, but I have that lens not rehoused, and it's very difficult to shoot with, and I just I want a rehoused one. So if anyone's got one laying around, I'm in the market. My budget is $5.
Dude, going back to Batman, though, I still needed to see Penguin. That was
I
a series everybody told me how really good it is and everything, and I don't doubt that. Just getting around to that and getting time,
I know
it's kind of hard.
There's so much stuff to watch, and I have to make a living, I've heard.
So it is that time of year again for Barnes & Noble put their Criterion collection at half off.
Oh, really?
For like their
Criterion
DVD
collection Barnes & Noble's?
Yeah.
Don't they do books? Don't movies kill the book?
Well,
Video killed the radio
too.
star. That's what I'm thinking of.
But there's a lot of titles too for Criterion that aren't available on streaming.
Oh, okay.
That if you go through that and look up some neat stuff, you can get it for about $20 now, where they're normally about $50.
Oh, wow. Okay. Any recommendations off the top of your head, or?
The couple that I have, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is definitely a really good one for that. Sid and Nancy, I love that film. It's hard to take. It was the true story of Sid Vicious and Angie Spungen. Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols that eventually died in their toxic relationship. And so it's kind of a depressing film, but it's really good. And that was one of Gary Oldman's first films that he did. And it's really, really good.
I love Gary Oldman. He's so good.
So do I. Yeah. And Naked Lunch is one that I have too.
Now, we're not going into that video collection, Andy. What you have on VHS is your business.
Naked Lunch is a William S. Burroughs book that David Cronenberg did the adaptation for. It's amazing, but it's very out there.
Oh, a David Cronenberg film is.
Yeah. And I still think it's one of Cronenberg's best films.
Cool.
That's bizarre as all get out. Whereas, like, the most palatable things that David Cronenberg has done is A History of Violence, which, if you haven't seen that, which I'm sure you haven't.
I haven't, because I never wanted to see my precious Aragorn be anything other than the hero.
History of Violence was a graphic novel that they made into a film, and it's really good. And it's really faithful to the book, too.
Okay, cool.
And then the other one that he did with Viggo Mortensen as well, Eastern Promises, which is a Russian mob film.
Yeah.
That one's really good, too, and it's very easy to digest for,
Yeah, I think A History of Violence came out when I was like 13. So I was just like, no, I'm not my precious boy. And then I forgot about it by the time I was
Ed Harris has a really good part in that, too. William Hurt, rest in peace. He's really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
And I've heard there's not actually a lot of violence in it, ironically enough.
There's just one scene that stands out, and that's about it.
So just this shows how dumb I was as a child. It's A History of Violence is just talking about a character who has a violent past, right?
It's a guy that may or may not be a mobster in a former life.
So he may have a history of violence.
Right.
That's the idea. I thought, because of the name of the movie was A History of Violence, that they were going to show how violence came about in the human condition.
So
I was so stupid.
The story, without giving anything away, is it starts out Viggo Mortensen and his wife run a diner in a small Midwestern town. They get robbed one night where Viggo Mortensen gets injured, but he kills the two guys that were going to rob him.
As one does.
And
Where
turns
is this,
out
in
to
Texas?
No.
It sounds like Texas.
He turns into the town hero, gets a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
And then a guy shows up that is Ed Harris, and that he's like, no, your name is this, and you know who you are. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, that sounds
and then
really good.
It kind of goes from there.
All right, I need to check this out.
It's really good.
My beautiful baby boy. I'm going to see him be violent. Fun fact, did you know that Viggo Mortensen broke his toe in the Two Towers when he kicked that helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone does, but it's fun to bring up anyway. Especially when you're watching Lord of the Rings with a woman. And you like every guy has to point that out. He's like, no, he really broke his toe. That's a real yell because he broke his toe. And that's my internet reference for the week. Got it out. I think that's all of the news that we have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not on the list is an announcement of GeForce 2, but I'm holding out hope. Holding out hope. So
you're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, probably forever. But you know what? I'm hoping we can start a grassroots campaign. Release the GeForce cut. Something like that, where we just we really get Disney to just. I want them to pull a Morbius.
Well,
I want them to at least re-release the first one.
You know what we're going to see before GeForce 2?
The end of the universe?
Bad Guys 2.
Yes, but that movie's actually going to be good, so it's not really.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Well, I guess so. The first one's fun. I really like the animation style of it too.
The other quick thing from Rob this week is he saw Freakier Friday.
Oh yeah.
He said it was actually really good.
Okay.
I'm not.
I know
convinced.
you're not a fan of the first one. Wait, did you ever actually see the first one?
Yeah, I did.
So
I saw
not
it a couple weeks ago. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still partial to the Jodie Foster one from the 70s because
sure,
that's
absolutely.
the one that I grew up with.
Yeah, I love both of them. Like I remember watching the. I might be able to stump you. Have you ever seen a Jodie Foster movie from when she was a kid called Candle Shoe?
Yes.
Dang it. Okay. Well, never
Yeah,
mind.
that's a Walt Disney film.
It is. Yep. No one ever knows what I'm talking about when I bring that movie up.
Yeah.
But I got it. Get this, on a VHS tape from the library as a child, and I loaded it into the top-loading VHS player in the back of our van that had a teeny tiny TV, and I watched Candle Shoe.
Did you ever see the movie that she directed?
Flight?
No.
No, but I did love Flight as a child for some reason.
Jodie Foster directed a movie called Little Man Tate, which is about an exceptional young boy who's very gifted.
A movie about me?
Intelligent. No, it's not about you. Oh, okay. The boy in that.
Oh, you said intelligent. I thought you were going to say stupid. Never mind.
And kind of the mother is poor, raising him on her own. Diane Weiss is in it and kind of discovers the boy and wants him to go further, to be this smart as he can be. And it's kind of this power struggle between these two women on control of this little boy. He doesn't know what it is to be smart that he is.
Right.
And it's a really good movie. Hardly anybody went to see it. It was kind of at the end of Orion Pictures when they were really struggling for money. Yeah. And they had a problem getting some films out and getting distribution. If you ever see that streaming somewhere, definitely take your time to watch it. It's a very good movie.
It was Little Man Tate?
Little Man Tate.
Little Man Tate.
And Adam Hand-Bird that played the boy in that went on to be in...
I'm sorry, did you say his name was Hand-Bird?
Adam Hand-Bird.
Hand-Bird.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
He went on to
Is he worth two in the bush?
No.
I regret nothing.
Yeah, I know. He went on to be in Halloween H2O.
Oh, really? Yep. The wettest of all the Halloweens.
Whatever. That was the first one where Jamie Lee Curtis came back, and it's actually really good. For somebody like me that really likes that series.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's very moist.
I hate that word.
I know.
There's a good reference to that in a TV show that I love called Dead Like Me.
Dead Like Me. Oh.
The girl that's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
When she first comes back, she spells the word moist on her mother's refrigerator because her mother hated that word.
That's funny.
Anyway,
goodness.
that's the end of our news.
Well, thanks everyone for listening to the show. I'm afraid that is it. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook at Grand Review Pod, and then vote on Spotify if you are. And welcome if you're listening on YouTube. Give us a like and a subscribe. Share the show. If you love it, share it with someone you love. If you hate it, share it with someone you hate.
Don't tell anybody.
What? No, still share it. Just find someone who you want to ruin their day and send them this.
And let us know what you thought of Superman 2. We're curious if we're the only ones or if we're there's trendsetters.
I've seen some sort of mixed reviews. Some people saying like, "Oh, I feel like the character was really thin and stuff," and I'm like, "I didn't get that, but okay."
I didn't either.
But in any case, we know the dog is okay, so everything's fine.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, thank you for listening. I'm afraid we have to go, but that means there's only one thing left to say, and that is, we'll see you at the movies. Bye.
Bye, y'all.